We all had that one popular kid in our school, the center of all attention, that every girl had a crush on him. There are many reasons for them being that popular, but for me there were 6 quirks that made one popular. But what if I told you that I knew someone with all these quirks? So popular that he controlled the entire class. Let's call him Shigaraki. That's actual name for a full one, you can look it up. First, I met Shigaraki in the 4th grade. He was a new student in my school. My class was full of new students. I didn't know any of them, and since none of us knew each other, we had to show up on our best game. But since it was the first day, there really wasn't much to do. The teacher was just introducing themselves to us, and we just had a boring day. Skipping a couple of days, and we finally have a PE class. This class was so important to us. Everyone loved playing football. Not this football. This football. So being good at football was an actual guarantee of being popular. Since we all were new, we had no preferences when picking up players to be on our team, so we just picked at random and started playing. Until the ball was passed to Shigaraki. It came from the perfect angle, right in his zone. And boom! First goal of the game. In case you were wondering, the person whom he scored on was me. I was the goalkeeper. But it's okay, we were only 5 minutes in the game. I can still prove myself. The game ended 21-0. I didn't block a single goal. First day and I'm already known as the worst goalkeeper ever. Keep in mind that Shigaraki scored about 90% of these goals, so he was gaining respect while I was losing it. And he was actually the best player in our class. And this promoted him to a new rank. He was no longer waiting to be picked in either Team A or B. He became Team A. It's always him versus the second best. These two were the ones who pick who will play on their team. Every game we ever played. And guess who was picked last? Yeah, it was me. If you didn't know, I don't like football. But my brother, on the other hand...
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.
That will be a story for another video though. So maybe, if you want to watch it and know more about my brother, you should subscribe. Unlike PE, the other classes were very boring, so any entertainment would be appreciated. This is where being funny comes into play. We all know that the funny student is an S tier in everyone's tier list. So cracking a joke mid-class or while answering a question, and if the joke is good enough to make our teachers laugh, they won't punish the kid who made the joke. And this would earn them not just the high status among other students, but even from the teachers. Cause let's be honest, some of these teachers hate being in class more than we do. And of course, Shigaraki wanted a slice of that cake. So he started throwing jokes like he's in a comedy show. Some of them were funny, some of them were kinda cringe. But he just told so many jokes. At this point, he might not even be studying at home. He might just be spending all his time writing down jokes. With the amount of jokes he made, he has been known as the class's Joker. Of course, the Joker was at his peak at these times. So that would be the coolest title any 4th grader could ever have. We all had that one kid with some insane lore. And Shigaraki was no exception. This one time I didn't go to school because I was sick, and the next day my friends told me that Shigaraki got into a fight with a 6th grader and won. Somehow this kid won a fight against a 6th grader and was a legend for this. No one in my class would ever pick a fight with him after this. And he started saying that he was the real John Cena, and you can't see him throwing these punches. Of course, his parents were called and he got punished, but he was still a legend to all of us. And there was this other time, I was hanging with him and some other friends, and out of nowhere, he decided he was gonna climb off the wall. He told us that on his way to school, he saw a mango tree, and it was in season. So he wanted to get his hands on some of that good mango. And you might think he had to Spider-Man climb his way up the wall, but in reality, the wall was too short. Let me give you some background. Our school had 2 buildings, one for the boys and one for the girls. The wall for the boys' building was very tall, like really tall. But for the girls' building, they didn't expect the girls that they would try to climb off the wall. But the thing is, they forgot the fact that they kept the boys under the 5th grade in the girls' building. Because they know that the boys' building is too dangerous for 4th graders and under. And they weren't wrong. Whenever any of the girls from the 10th to the 12th grade see any of us trying to climb off the wall or fight or doing anything dangerous, they would stop us, and we didn't dare to fight back. They were really tall, and some of them looked really scary, so we won't mess with them. Of course, some looked less scary, and we did mess with them, but this will be a story for another time. Back to the mango tree, we knew that if we tried to climb the wall just like that, we will instantly get stopped, so we had a plan.
せいだなんだと個人主義を謳っていても戦うたびに心がすり減り、終わりは来ない。ずーっと君のことを考えてた。僕の興味はもはやあのウド、オールマイトにないよ。せいだなんだと個人主義を謳っていても戦う。
But how are we gonna climb back?
せいだなんだと個人主義を謳っていても戦うたびに心がすり減り、終わりは来ない。ずーっと君のことを考えてた。
I will. And we executed the plan perfectly, like we were on a Mission Impossible movie. And somehow, we didn't get caught. We came back to class with mangoes in our hand. We had to use metal rulers to slice the mangoes and just eat it with our hands. To be honest, I don't remember where the teacher was at the time, but I remember everyone looking at us like we stole the Mona Lisa. But since Shigaraki was a part of what we did, no one dared to snitch on us. And we became known as the legends who broke out of school, and no one caught us. Of course, the hype died after a week or so, but so many myths were created. But this also will be a story for another video. You know, it seems there are so many cool and interesting stories that'll be told in upcoming videos. So why not click the subscribe button, you know? Come on, you can do it. I'll wait. Do it. In the 4th grade, money held no value to us. If you wanted someone to do an assignment for you or help you cheat an exam, you didn't pay them with money, paid them with candy. You see, we were too young to buy candy on our own, and every time we asked our parents, they all say the same thing. No. But there's an exception to this canon event, and that is Shigaragi's mother. I don't know if she didn't care, or somehow she was okay with letting her son eat all that candy, but he had a backpack full of candy. His candy to book ratio was like 11-1. Of course he didn't eat all that candy, or he would be never that good at football, but he only gave it to anyone who was willing to help him on an exam, or do the homework for him. It even reached a level where in some classes where the teacher wrote a lot of notes, and we had to write them down, he would give candy to the top student who is the fastest writer in class. He was too fast, he wrote even faster than the teacher, just so he can write these notes for him, and you bet he took a lot of candy. So yeah, basically this kid introduced bribery to 4th graders. With all these quirks combined in one person, the power of Shigaraki was like nothing I've ever seen. Everyone wanted to be his friend, and I must admit, I wanted to be his friend too. Cause being friends with him didn't only mean that you are friends with the most popular kid in class, but it meant you get the benefits too, like free candy. He will just give you free candy if you are good friends with him, and if someone is helping him, he will make them help you too. But with so much power, corruption must come. Since everyone wants to be his friends, which means they all wanted to be on his good side, picking a fight with him was like picking a fight with the whole class. So if you do something he doesn't like, he will just say, "We're no longer friends," and he will start telling others to stop being friends with you. And it actually worked. He had the power to make anyone in this class loved by all or hated by all. There was this one time where I was sitting next to him in the first period, and we didn't really have this, my disc from day one thingy. We had the first come first serve thing. So if you come early, you can sit anywhere you want. So after the class was over, he told me that he wanted me to switch places with one of his friends. This friend was sitting all the way in the back. Of course, I didn't want to sit in the back, so I said no. He tried asking again. I still said no. He even offered me candy, but my answer was still no. Of course, Shigaraki didn't like that at all. So he said we were no longer friends. And that was like getting sent to the Shadow Realm. The news quickly got spread around, and everyone knew I was no longer friends with Shigaraki. That means they didn't want anything to do with me. When it was break time, no one wanted to play with me or even talk to me. I was even eating alone, and they all said the same excuse. Sorry dude, but you're not a friend with Shigaraki, so... And as a 4th grader, that got me really sad. Yet I tried to be friends with him again, cause at the end of the day, I didn't want to be alone. So I had to use my special quirk. These quirks are like one for all to all for one. You can't just have it. They are the representation of blood, sweat, and tears. Being the smartest kid in class is like building a snowman. It's only a seasonal thing. You can only do it when it's winter and snowing. You walk into class and no one cares. But if there is an exam around the corner, or an assignment that counts for most of your grades, suddenly you are the most popular kid to ever exist. Everyone will start cheering you on, like we NPCs, offering you all the sweets you could ever want, just to help them cheat on the exam. And some will do anything for you just so you can explain the subject for them. I was one of the top 3 smartest students in my class, especially when it comes to math. Yep. I have been cooking math since I was 9. I actually taught Walter White his formula. Fast forward a couple of days, and our math teacher tells us that we have an exam next week. Knowing that Shigaraki and his friends aren't really good at math, I was ready for them to ask for my help. And I knew they were going to come for me first, since everybody knew that the smartest kid in our class won't help anyone cheat in the exam, not even his own brother. And if you ask him to help, there was a 99% chance he will tell the teacher on you. And as I expected, he came asking for my help. Shigaraki started acting like we were old friends who hadn't seen each other in a decade. Of course I said no, and that I wouldn't do it for free. So he offered me a bag of chips, but I still said no. For this time, I wanted 2 bags of chips. The family size one. Me being his only option, he agreed. And these were the best 2 bags of chips I have ever tasted in my life, because they were victory flavored. The exam was really easy. I helped everyone cheat, everyone got full marks. I was a legend for the day. And then I went back to normal, but still friends with Shigaraki, just so he chooses me and his team when playing football. But what if I told you there is an uncontrollable power, a freak of nature, someone that no one can control, not even Shigaraki. His power was... This kid was so strong. He was just straight up built like Yujiro Hama. No one could control him. And the second best in football. Well, he wasn't actually, but he would beat anyone who didn't agree. So everyone had to let him choose team B. No one can stop him from doing anything he wanted. He would just straight up punch his way through it. Even Shigaraki was afraid of him. So he would just give him candy for no apparent reason. I think he was just trying to tame him like a Minecraft dog, but he ate too much and still wasn't friends with him. But the benefit that he wasn't really good at his subjects and he needed help. So I teamed up with him. I told him that I'll help him for every task if he just protect me. And yeah, this is how I had Yujiro Hama as my guard. But that'll be a story for another video.